What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Today, you see the thumbnail. We're going to talk a little bit about the homie Casanova, the musician, the rapper, the dude that pretty much had it all, and now it's all gone, right? Trust me, it's all gone. Maybe not his money, but his fame's over with. And his moment in the spotlight is probably over with. Brother got sentenced to 188 months, I believe, 15 years, 8 months in the feds. And like I was saying, no, a lot of people can give you their perspective, right, by reading an article, telling you what happened. This is what happened to Casanova. People can give you their perspective about Larry Nassar, but if you've never really been to the feds, you've never been in a maximum security prison, you've never been to an FCI, you've never been in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, then they can't give you the full insight on why these things happen and how they happen and what type of dudes target these types of dudes, right? They just can't. But me, not a knock on anybody that's done any videos. But I've been there, man, so I know how it works. And some of the craziest things that I've seen, we're going to talk about Casanova, is that people could walk into a federal prison and be a gang member and tell the gang, I'm good. I'm not on gang time. I'm on New York time. I'm not with that. And I've seen it. I've seen some of the homies come in and be like, I'm not on gang time. A lot of people are going to talk about Casanova and say, man, he wrote that letter to the judge, which we did a little video about. And he tells the judge, look, I'm no longer a blood. I'm not running with the apes no more. That was the set that he ran with. He's like, I'm good. I turned my life around. But you got to think about Casanova, man. I mean, this man, his music, I love his music, right? That So Brooklyn song, not from Brooklyn, but I definitely like the song, right? But a guy in his position, under Dick Wolf, I mean, those who know, if you know, you know what I'm saying? Dick Wolf is a serious dude. I think that that whole ape situation is, them dudes are balls to the wall. They go hard, man. Those dudes go hard. And Casanova, for those that don't know, he would look out for the homies, man. Like he'd show up. He'd do concerts for people, try to put people on. He did a lot of stuff, man. And when you read the paperwork and you go through everything on the pacer, you see what he was trying to do, man. He's like, I'm about to put this ape shit on the map. Like he was going hard, right? But you also have to think about the times that he ended up in a mental health institution. He's done some things. He said some things in some songs where you're like, damn, man, is dude all right? If you pay attention to the lyrics. So now he writes this letter to the judge. He pens this letter and says, man, I'm no longer with it. I made some irrational, irresponsible choices. I'm giving up that gang life. I'm not with this stuff. I'm dropping my flag. And, he gets cut in the face or whatever at the county jail, right? While he's waiting, awaiting his federal sentencing. And then some of the dudes, respond with him. They jump on old boy that hits him with the razor, right? So now people are like, oh, man, he dropped his flag when he gets to the feds. But nobody really knows, man. Did he just write that letter because he was trying to get a sentence reduction? Did he write that letter, was he sincere about it? Did he really drop his flag? I don't know, man. Did he get permission from the big homie that's in New York State prison? I don't know. He may have. Or maybe it's just part of, man, you're all right. You can just kind of do that, man. So, tell the judge what you got to tell him, man, do what you got to do. But we know where you're at. We know where you stand. And now here's the biggest part, man. When I was in federal prison, I would see dudes come in there talking about, man, I'm not on blood time. I'm on New York time. And in every prison that I've been to, there has been kind of a pack, right? I've been in, a lot of East Coast prisons where the New York dudes and the Bloods kind of, they stick together, man. They're from New York. You might be a Blood, but you grew up with old boy that's part of the New York card that's got a little influence or whatever, right? You might have been a Blood, man, but Homicide Lou, and Lou's got the yard over at Big Sandy. So you're all the way good. Now, I'm not on blood time, homie. I'm on New York time. And I've seen it done plenty of times. And I would never, ever think that you could be a gang member, right? For me being in New York State prison, for me, the Bloods, man, when I was there, the Bloods ran the show, man. It is what it is, man. I was there in Comstock with Baldy and some of the big homies back then. Big mention, Yellow Boy YB, the executioner. Like, them dudes went hard. I think if you showed up in New York State prison talking about you're not on count, they would be like, yeah, all right, you're not on count. Okay, we'll see how that works out. It's not going to work out. But I feel like the feds is a different animal where they allow dudes to be like, nah, I'm on New York time. And the New York dudes usually had the numbers. Sometimes, like when I was in Raybrook, there was, a homie that had the car that was an FCI. The homie had like 20-something years in. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've been to Raybrook. And, sometimes he'd act like, man, I ain't with that blood stuff, man, them dudes, man. But, man, they always had that alliance, bro. They always had that New York alliance. So if you're a New York Blood, man, they had that alliance. So what do I think will happen to Casanova? I think he probably ends up at an FCI. He ends up at an FCI and, I think he's like, nah, bro, I just said that shit to the judge, man, and I think he's all right. I don't think he ends up at a penitentiary. It's my opinion. I could probably do his points right here on the video and tell you exactly, what his classification is going to be. But in my opinion, I think he's going to end up at an FCI, and he's probably going to be all right. If he ends up at a pen, it probably depends on what pen he goes to. If he goes to the West Coast, some dudes might be like, yo. But if he's on the East Coast, if he ends up somewhere like USP Lee, I think he'll be fine. I don't think USP Allenwood, and he's like, yo, I'm on New York time, homie, I'm from New York, that's it. Then I think that he'll probably be all right. And now we'll talk a little bit about Dr. Nasty, Larry, what the hell is it, Nassar? Larry Nassar, Nasty Nassar. How do these things happen, right? He goes to this prison, he goes to Tucson. Their mission statement is to keep people like him that have crimes like him safe. But once you get to that prison, you have to also understand that they bring other dudes there, right? Dropout gang members, a lot of drug addicts, a lot of dudes that, couldn't make it in other spots, or they were making it for 10, 15 years and like, yo, I'm done. I'm not with this gang stuff. But a lot of times, man, them ex-gang members are the dudes that ran up drug debts, checked in, dropped out of their gang, and now they end up at a place like USP Tucson. USP Tucson used to be a very dangerous prison. It wasn't always a dropout prison. It wasn't always an SO prison. So now you get people like Larry, and he goes over there, and you get some white dude that's running up a drug debt. Yeah, they sell drugs over at them dropout prisons too. Don't think that they don't. Don't think that they ain't getting money over there. And most of the gang dropouts become their own gang, right? You could have dudes that, all different dudes, man. Southsiders, Norteños that have dropped out. And now once they get over there, now they got an alliance. Now it's based on, man, we're pretty much Hispanic culture, man, and we're running together, and we ain't letting no one take advantage of us. But why do things happen to people like Larry? In most cases, you get a white dude over there that's a drug addict, and if you've been to federal prison, please, confirm this in the comments. Well, I mean, you don't have to. But what happens is you get a drug addict that's over there is like, yo, look, man, he's getting some dope from people, and now he's got a drug debt, and he's like, you know what? I'm about to blow this spot, man. I'm out of here. And I got to find a victim. I'm going to find somebody. And that's what really happened with Whitey Bulger, man. Dude stabbed him with a pencil. He found him. He's like, hey, you know what? He owed a drug debt. He's like, man, I'm about to get out of here, man. And I'm about to pick you, my man from Boston over there. Yeah, I'm getting you, bruh. And then I could write about it. People are like, damn, bro, you're the dude that hit up Whitey Bulger, huh? Like, yeah, bro, that's me. Or then, when you go to another prison, you get this thing called the detention order that says why you were in the hole. So now a dude that might have been at Tucson, he's in danger if he goes to a real USP, right? After this, man, this is the end of the road for you, bro. Your career is over with if you go to USP Tucson or USP Coleman 2 and you're on the yard. So, dudes will go out there and they'll hit someone. You've been here a year. You go out there and hit the dude, you get a detention order that says you stabbed Whitey Bulger, and you go back to a different USP and you can skate for a little bit, right? You go in there, hey, man, where's your detention order? Your detention order says, man, you hit dude up. Yeah, bro, they put me on a compound for like 2 hours. You've been there 2 years. Put me on a compound for like 2 hours. Man, I seen Whitey Bulger, bro, when I played no games. I put that knife in him. Pencil. And they're like, oh, all right, bro, you're good, man. And then eventually, someone might show up at the prison. But nah, man, I remember a dude from Atwater. He checked in over there, man. Man, that dude went to Tucson, man, in like 2017, bro. He's over here on the yard. And now the next thing you know, man, they're putting that pencil on you. And that's what happens, man. Larry Nassar, I think there's some articles about he wanted to watch some girls on TV or some gymnastics or whatever he wanted to watch, right? And people, someone hit him a few times. But that's probably not the real reason why he got hit up. It's probably someone over there at Coleman 2 that just been like, you know what? I had enough. I got a drug debt. I'm picking Larry today. Or you might go, eeny, miny, mo. There's a whole bunch of people to pick from. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Dr. Larry. Hey, doctor, let me holler at you real quick, man. I got this little problem, right? Boom. And they hit him. They hit him up. They hit him in a place where the camera can't see. And I want people to know, like, if you're doing this hanky-panky stuff, right, you should probably think about it twice, because what happened to Larry could easily happen to you if you end up in federal prison, man. These are the things that happen over there. So, my perspective is for people like Larry, the cops, right? A lot of times the cops they feel the way that the general public feels, man. The cops got kids, bro. The cops got a 14, 15-year-old daughter, homie. He don't like people like Larry. And a lot of times they'll turn a blind eye. We've done videos where, I told you guys about the times where the cops are here, man, check out the computer right here. They check out their computer and like, yo, he ain't no good, man. Get him out of here. And they're like, all right. And you got people that'll volunteer, man. So that's what really happened to Larry, man. Yeah, Larry gets hit up. He's got a bad case. He's number one target when someone wants to get out of USP Tucson or someone wants to get out of USP Coleman. Larry becomes the target. Larry is the ticket out of here, man. You're jumping on an airplane, man. I'll catch you later, Larry. I'm out of here. And then they'll put a no contact order on Larry. And Larry's probably going to stay at the same prison. Where can they send Larry, man? Think about that. Where can they send Scary Larry? They may be like, you know what? All right, we're putting you in for a transfer. You're a victim. The dude that hits him up, he's definitely getting transferred. And Larry, you can't really go nowhere, but we're going to put you in the hole and we're going to redesignate you. Next thing you know, Larry's on a plane and he's heading down to USP Pollock. And Larry looks like a deer in headlights, right? Like, Pollock, he knows the stories. He knows that there's only two places he can go that he's safe. Or they might redesignate him to an FCI, right? Give him a management variable, even though he's got all them years. Say, hey, man, we got to send this cat to FCI. Let's pick Manchester. They send him over there and hope they can integrate him, and probably don't work out for him there either. But there are some FCIs where they have people like him and they send them there eventually. Not always your first trip. So if you're thinking about doing the hanky-panky, the old Michael Jackson, you should probably think twice. And again, my perspective on Casanova, I don't think he's going to have any issues. And I definitely don't think the dude's no sucker, man. And I don't believe that he really dropped his flag or dropped out of his gang. I really don't see that. I mean, that kid went hard for the apes, and he was embedded in that stuff, man. And maybe he has changed his life, and I hope that he does. And like I said, his career is pretty much over with, man. Yeah, what's he going to write some albums, and he'll probably write 10 different albums while he's in there for the next 12 years. He got 15 years, do about 12 on Good Time. But man, the whole music industry, man, you guys know it shifts, man. Things change. Different types of music. But anyway, man, that's just a little clip, for early Saturday morning. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Hit that like button, baby. Respect. Until tomorrow, we're out.